Alright, abusia mami mo bibi akwaba na me fa mbra mega TV and platform we eso. Abusia PNP, that is the People's National Party, a petition Yura John Mahama, His Excellency President say onye den ontimi enyi Minister Designate for Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yura Oku Jeto Ablakwa Norton Emrashibidweni. Onyini free honum na on redraw or chair as the oral team. I mean the operation recover all loot. He should also be removed. And Omonfanen called the office of the special prosecutor, that is OSP. Abusia enyeze enti weye petitioner akoto Yewura John Mahama anima ogusua or consider yenim say as in the coming days obetimi IBB sa anase untimi nya eno nso ewo hono na abusia wonim meme akọ ne akwakotie nkomodidi a ekoso efa the appointment committee na no Yewura Speaker Albans Minor Babin otimi suspending MPP 3 members of parliament and NDC dia baako isan the misconduct bia ekoso ewo mbra na omu vetting abusia mpese mekasa bebre yenko na yenko eden Chikuti is a conversation or bra NDC communicator, any MPP communicator, I clash good morning Ghana show so young for credit and more instance or more and a more boy it minya and same way be at besum one young coupon and coswa and shrisha or bibia busia in teens and for pecoba yebetwaso.
To respond, and then we're going to the reset educational fund.
So
I don't even think I'll need up to 3 minutes.
Okay, then 1 minute.
Yes, because a lot has been said. If we want to go into everybody's nitty-gritties of what happened, I don't think we'll finish today. But I think
I actually gave you that because she took some of your time. So.
Yeah. So the issue of the clerk being attacked and everything that happened in Parliament, I think the Minority Caucus has already apologized for some of the things that happened there. What it was is that
the minority?
Yes, there's been apology. I think
to the clerk?
No, not to the clerk. No, we're talking about the
vetting.
Yes, the I don't want to call it the
It wasn't a minority apology. It was a clerk chairman.
The fight. No, even
yes.
the Honorable Kojo Oponkoma. Yes. So
he made an apology?
Yes, on the radio or TV station. It's
yeah, but we will not take it as a minority apology.
Okay, we'll prepare an apology. It's obvious that...
I didn't hear that from Kojo Oponkoma, but I think...
it's obvious that whatever...
To be taken as a minority apology must come from the minority leader.
Don't worry. I think even yesterday he might have said it, but I don't remember exactly. But I think he might have said it. Yes. It's obviously something that we have to condemn, everything that happened in Parliament and whatnot. But it's also becoming the bullying and the posturing from the majority side is also something that we should look into.
From the who?
From the majority side.
Bullying?
Can you imagine that at 11:30, almost 12 p.m., after vetting 6 people, when initially the agreement was to vet, I think 3 or 4, that's when you want to swear in the honorable nominee for health.
No, okay, you have your fundamentals and your facts wrong.
No, that is, no. Which part is wrong?
No. All those people who were scheduled to be vetted were on the program.
Yes, but that is in dispute. That is in dispute. The honorable minority leader, Honorable Afenyo Marking, said there were 4. They've said it repeatedly.
Oh. Please.
He said they agreed that they amended.
Please hold on.
That they amended to add 2.
Please hold on.
Yes. So how did they want to amend to add another 2?
Afenyo Marking had gone on radio.
It was the 6th.
The day before, so the morning before Ablakwa's vetting, and he made certain comments. And Ablakwa even fumed at the vetting committee and said, you sounded as though I was smuggled in.
Yes, I saw that.
And he apologized for even all those comments.
Yes, but
which meant that even if they amended Ablakwa was supposed to be on the vetting.
No, that doesn't mean, the fact that he apologized for using that does not mean that
he was supposed to be vetted.
No, does not mean that they agreed to 8. This is the official communication from the minority side of Parliament that I'm telling you. That initially the agreement was to vet 4, then it was amended for 2 to be added. And at that point, at 11:30, come on.
Okay, so hold on. So let's.
So don't say that.
So don't say that they didn't agree. They agreed.
And you had just done 3 hours of
that they had agreed to vet.
So they agreed. They were only fighting because of the time.
No, that's not the official communication from the minority side.
To who?
The agreement.
That official to who?
Yes, to
Is
everybody.
It to communicators or
to everybody. I'm telling you what the official communication from the minority side was. There was never an agreement to vet.
Hold on. Afenyo was on the committee when the chairman was setting the record straight. That is Hon Ablakwa for the rights deputy speaker. He was setting the record straight when Afenyo was sitting right there, and he said everything that these people were scheduled to, be vetted. And following that, he apologized to how Ablakwa felt. And Afenyo was there. He didn't say anything.
Well, then,
so I don't know what you're referring to.
No, well, that is not. That's not the.
So because the fight in any case, if you even think that they were not programmed, let's assume without admitting they were not programmed to be. Is that how to go about it?
No, obviously. That's why I started with an apology. Okay. You have to apologize, then you explain what happened. Because it was obvious that the majority wanted to bully their way to sort of create a situation where the minority will just boycott. And then the rest goes on. The vetting of the other 2 nominees goes on without them.
But
that is something that they
if
wanted
you watch everything that
and
has happened,
we apologize for our behavior in Parliament.
This committee, who is doing the bullying?
I think it depends on which side of the. What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Would you think that the honorable minority leader is bullying?
Watch the vetting as Annie, not as MPP, not as NDC.
Oh, I usually watch it as a fair-minded. That's all.
Who is doing the bullying?
I don't think
a fair-minded elephant.
I think the chairman. He's had his days, but he's generally been quite fair. Okay. That I admit.
So who is in the bullying?
I don't think if what you are trying to get out is that the minorities bully. I don't think they were bullying.
You are the one who is using the word bullying.
Yes,
so
but
I'm asking you.
Trying to
have an understanding of what
chairman,
it is.
Yes.
Trying
so
to have
admitted that the chairman
have
Equia, how do you feel
about
who does that on the platform?
Who
does that on the vetting platform? How do you feel?
Shamima, please. I'm just saying, like, if we are all here, then we know we're supposed to close at 10. Then at 10, you bring in 2 new guests that we should continue sparring for another 2 hours.
So you know that we are closing at 10, but you decide you alone will question somebody for 3 hours.
130.
We are in a
democracy.
In a democracy in Parliament, when a nominee is brought, questions are allowed to be asked. Can we just stop this behavior of thinking that some questions asked by people or like the vetting was too long? You vetted Kenoforiata for 2 days. Did you not?
Oh, okay, we hear.
And like this is the
we didn't vet Kenoforiata
for 2 days. There were circumstances.
What were the circumstances?
We did not vet Kenoforiata for 2 days.
So what happened?
You know 2 days.
He had 2 sittings.
Do you know 2 days?
That's 2 days.
It's not 2 days.
So was he vetted in 1 day?
No, you are specific with the time. You said 2 days. So
let her drink some water. Let
someone is vetted for 5 hours. What's the problem? That's the only opportunity that Ghanaians are going to have. It would not have been a
problem if you tell us
the
now
nominees
that,
like that. So what is wrong if the
so on what basis
thorough?
do we book 6 people if we think that we are going to do 8 hours for 1 person?
And one thing you guys also have to commend is the speed at which we vetted your nominees. That's not something you want to commend us for. The speed at which we
Oh no, I'll commend you for that.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
At least we are not trying to be distracted. No. We actually wish you guys well.
You will be. You are.
So this one says that good morning. I'm appealing to the new Minister of Lands and Mineral Resources to act swiftly to save the TDC for game and wildlife, which is within the Ramsar site at Sakumono, and the people are encroaching. Let us join hands to protect the Ramsar site and birds project. Thank you. Alhaji Haruna from Ashaman sent that in. This one says that Musa Batwa says, good morning, Annie. The Speaker's decision to direct a 7-member committee to commence a full criminal investigation into the suspend the 4 MPs from vetting committee is a step in the right direction. The vetting process, particularly the conduct of the micro-minority, has raised concerns about fairness, as it appears some members have allowed personal biases to influence their judgments of certain nominees. This move will help restore credibility, ensure impartiality, and uphold the integrity of the vetting process. Annie, okay, this is not so clear. Let me jump to the next one. Honorable Atabwadi says that, good morning, Annie. The Exton Cubic Mobile, owned by Ibrahim Mahama, Heritage Bank, and radio stations owned by NDC and many others were destroyed by Nana Bawumia government. I can assure you, if this dialogue was organized by Ibrahim Mahama or President John Mahama, the NPP regime, they would not have stopped. They would have stopped it. Remember the Cheddar program? It was stopped for no cogent reason.
In the state.
So what she is talking about? What is she talking about? She should not irritatingly annoying people this morning. You can even acknowledge. Okay, you can't even acknowledge the good gesture and togetherness JDM is doing for His Excellency John Mahama inaugural speech praising Nanado. Okay. Ambassador Sampiale said that, I know you're not discussing this, but let me clear this for my chest. I have seen some people trying to rebuild the infamous statute of shame, Akufo-Addo, at the secondary roundabout, but I can assure you that they can build the statute 199 times and we shall break it 199 times. Ambassador Sampiale, I think this is wrong because the statute was built with the president in the noon, then the minister, the chiefs, and the people of the area. If it has to be brought down, it must be by some authority sanctioned. I don't think that it's right, and it has to be, entertained. So let's do the right thing, I think. Good morning, Annie. I'm Eben from Kwabinya. The micro-minority claiming the speaker has no power to sanction them, who has to sanction, then who has to take them on for their misbehaviors? When the public dish them, they have the power to drag us to them for questioning, right? Asembeba Debi, greetings to Honorable Elipli Makuglu, you say, and Dr. Tony Obing. The message, from Ilyasu Tamale. Hey, Ilyasu, how are you? Good morning to you. Good morning, Annie. What happened in Parliament last week is blamed squarely on the minority. After listening to both sides, the simple question to the minority is, what would have spoiled if they agreed to continue the next day? Did they expect to subject the chiefs and imams that accompany the nominees to sit through the vetting that was likely to travel into the midnight? Going forward, they should let consensus lead. I agree with you. Yesterday, someone raised a question. Why it has become so necessary that wives, families, chiefs, and everybody must be following nominees? What do you think of that question? What's
that day?
Heck no.
By the supporters.
Okay.
So they increase security, and apparently a lot of the minority members could not even leave the House of Parliament.
Okay. Ambassador Edith Hazel, good morning to you, ma'am. I hope you're well. She says that I was invited by Ablakwa to his vetting scheduled for Thursday at 1 p.m. We waited till 7:30 p.m. when he was called to appear before the committee, and then we proceeded there only for the drama that ensued, and he was called to be vetted that evening. That's why he went there. I was in the hall that night. She lost her husband recently.
Yes, Auntie.
Yes. Yeah, so our condolences. Anyway, thank you for the message, Ambassador. All right, so someone says, I felt sorry for Honorable Ablakwa reading the so-called St. Francis prayer, especially when he doesn't share the same faith with the minority leader. I'm not surprised at the happenings thereafter.
I actually have a problem with appointees being told to read.
Yeah.
To read statements before questions are asked. If you have a question, in fact, I have a problem with it. If you have a question and you have your document, you, the questioner, should read whatever passage. You don't invite me to read. Okay, read. Stop there. Then you ask me a question. Then read. You know, it's please.
Well, it's what's the problem you have with it? Because I think it's a probing skill. Yeah. You have to see the document and identify that this is my document. Yes, I authored this.
But don't ask me to read it. You are the questioner. So ask me the questions that you have.
Just so you can admit that, okay,
it is not all, as you're saying, people were actually even read things that they didn't author. So the principle is not reading what you
So you're not even achieving that.
It is not that. That is not the guiding principle, because people are being, I think it's a way of
okay, Mark from USA says that in Mark from USA, in 2017, the vetting process for Ghana's Minister of Energy, Boachi Ejakun, lasted for 5 hours and 30 minutes, spanning 2 days. So the source is Ghana Web. He says, in 2021, the vetting process of the Ghana's Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, lasted approximately 7 hours, spanning 2 days. And good morning, my sister. Good morning to you, and thank you for the for the records and the research done. No.
Right.
He says spanning 2 days.
That's what I meant.
You say 2 days.
You know exactly what I meant.
2 days. Sharima.
Right.
Educational forum, 8-member committee sets. They are coming back with a report in what?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks. Yeah.
So yet again, His Excellency John Mahama has promised in the lead up to the 2024 elections that he is going to lead the next 4 years and invites Ghana and Ghanaians and our partners within and without to collaborate, cooperate, and help to build the Ghana that we all want. The Ghana that puts the Ghanaian at the center of development, the Ghana that's able to provide the basic necessities for the citizens who are deserving of it. We, as a political party, we pride ourselves in our egalitarian ethos. So yes, we are not a party of middle and upper class. We are a party of all that up and down. We are a party of grassroots, because as our constitution says, sovereignty lies with the people. And the people are those who are the grassroots. The people are those who are the peripheries. The people are those who have not benefited in any way from the gains of this democracy that we have been experimenting for over 32 years. So we pride ourselves that we are a party that always is guided by generating prosperity for the mass of Ghanaians, for the people of for the people of Ghana. And that's why we arguably, under His Excellency John Mahama, we are constituting the most representative and the most diverse government ever to be seen in the history of our democracy. Every region, most ethnic groups, religious representation, as envisaged by our 1992 Constitution, which I see you have a copy here. So there was a promise that we're going to hit the ground running, and that's exactly what he has done, to hit the ground, running. If we look at the inequalities that exist in this nation, we can't, for the like of any by the stretch of any imagination, think that it is a badge of honor to believe your party as a party of equals, of a middle class and an upper class. The masses matter, their voices matter, their representation matters, their issues most especially matters. And so when we came into power, into service, I actually like to use the word service more than I like to use the word power. Within the 14 days, the 2 weeks, he had actually named his cabinet as he promised. And yes, thankfully, with the cooperation of Parliament and the Appointments Committee, we've been able to have a record number of nominees go through the vetting process, and also even their swearing in. As we speak, if you look at the raft of appointments that I've done for both ministers, for the staff at the presidency, for committees, and also for agencies, we are on full course to create this, Ghana that is representative of our diversity. if you take the numbers, and if you're going to do even a gender analysis of what we have done so far, if you look at the representations across board, like ministries, the presidency is 50-50. All of us, there are 5 women, 5 men at presidential staffers. And if you take the agencies, we are seeing a record number of female CEOs and deputy, CEOs to various agencies and authorities. And if you look at the committees, they are also very gender balanced. And with the gender question, the promise was a minimum 30% representation in government. So far, by our last count, this week we'll tabulate again for the new appointments that have come. But as of last week, we had done 27%. That is not shabby at all. We are just 3% shy of our minimum. And I want to believe that we may even add a little jara to it. We would most likely go beyond the 30%, all things being equal, across board. So this is very impressive, and we must commend His Excellency's commitment to, leaving his word and meeting his promises. And so I was also a bit surprised when at Parliament, at the Appointments Committee, there were suggestions from some quarters that the President should come and apologize and increase the numbers, because they believe from the minority side that 60 might be too small a number. You see, when the NPP came into power 8 years ago and announced their 123 ministers, I actually wrote a post, and I said I thought that the task must inform, the numbers, not the numbers informing the task. And my rationalization was that when you come into an office, you do not have a full overview of the depth of work. You don't need numbers to understand that. You need a few to quickly go in, assess the situation, start the project. So, for example, you may not need 10 people to conceptualize how we're going to do our 24-hour economy. Once the ideation has been finished, the conceptualization, the deployment plan has been prepared, then you will know how many more hands you now need for implementation. So it was okay, and we campaigned for a lean and efficient government. So until such time that we begin to bring upstream a lot of our major policies, we cannot even make any justification to increase numbers, because we must first justify
why the need, if there is a need.
And that's the promise. And so what was the thinking behind the counter promise of the NPP then, that they would do, I beg your pardon, they would do 50 ministers? So was this just to counter the NDC's, proposal for political expediency, so that you're now advising us to come and apologize and increase the numbers? That was the campaign promise. And this is what I also want to urge our party people. We knew that this was the campaign promise. And we also know that there are not a lot to go by. So the reality is that some people will not get. And so we just have to plead for deeper understanding. And
is it a challenge for you?
Obviously, it's a challenge, because look, this is the most massive.
I mean, I hear around as a challenge, but I want to hear coming from you.
It's a massive win. So it means a lot of people have put in work from across the length of, and breadth of the country. But unfortunately, not everybody who is desirous of a position might be able to get a position. And so for those who may not get in, they should not despair. And some will say, oh, that's rich coming from you because you're already in. It's providence. Providence would give us all different opportunities at different times. So it also behoves on us, those who at least have our, the seats around the table, to, like Professor Nanajin said some time back, to also keep the door open and to help. At the end of the day, what people are fearful about is that they will not get opportunities. So even if they don't get positional opportunities, we should work in such a way that we generate the work, so people can get opportunities to work, people can get projects to do, people can get
even
employment,
outside core government.
And yes, and of course, even outside, especially how much can government employ? I mean, the entire public, wage bill, how much is it? Do you see? So it is really activating the private sector. And that's what we're hoping, that once the 24-hour economy comes on stream, there will be so many opportunities for people to venture into things. Joint venture, people should, teams should build together. But we also have to represent as much as possible.
John Domelo.
Yeah.
I have seen, I mean, I can't even hide my admiration. I can't even hide my admiration.
This lobbying there.
Farmer John,
yes,
he's doing great in agriculture.
I mean, he doesn't even need any recognition, in the so-called top positions, whatever, or in the core government positions being provided, because I think he's found himself so much to do outside government and can help others.
So he'll probably need an enabling support so he can expand his business. So that's brilliant. I mean, coming back to the topic at hand. So once the team is in place, the work begins in earnest. I mean, luckily, a few ministers have already started they've reported to work. They've started working. Some CEOs have also reported and they've started working. So please let us bear our
members
president
of parliament are not going to work.
Pardon?
Members of parliament are not going to work.
I don't understand.
MPs from your side are not going to parliament.
Oh, some are going.
Some
but because it's because of the preliminary, especially those who have been sworn in. And some of the new ones, they have to do a lot of administrative things.
That's why they're not going to parliament.
They come and they go. So sometimes you don't see them sit throughout because they still have administrative things to get their offices set, to get their research. So please, we've not done a month in office. So please bear with the forming process. The forming process is not a one-day thing. And we're doing it as quickly as we can. And I'm happy that Ghanaians are aligned with the efforts, because they can see genuine efforts on the side of His Excellency to form his government very quickly so they can get to work. So, and again, what I want to tell Ghanaians watching is that anytime you look at us in this year, see this year as a year of review and a year of accountability. Review meaning that we're going to bring to you a lot of the major problems in the important sectors of the economy that we have spoken about during the campaign. So there was a promise of a constitution review process. We have His Excellency swore in the members of that constitution review last week, chaired by H. Kwesi Prempeh of the CDT. We have also announced the National Economic Dialogue Committee, which is also supposed to bring together and organize a non-partisan bi-stakeholder platform to have a deep conversation about the real state of the Ghanaian economy and what we need to be agreeing on. So we don't have an MPP approach, an NDC approach. Strategies would differ, but the vision must be the same, because all political parties, NDC, MPP, face the same set of economic challenges. It is how we resolve them, or the interventions that would differ in terms of the outcomes that we are able to generate. And today there's an announcement of the National Education Dialogue. So these are three major offerings: the Education Dialogue, the Constitution Review, and the what was this other one? The Economic Dialogue, that are all come up on stream within this year. And so we would like to call on all Ghanaians to participate in these platforms, so we can have a very representative voice around the table. The education matter is of essence, because the Free Senior High School, which is a subset of the broad educational dialogue, it's going to look comprehensively under the leadership of Honorable Harun Idrisu, the Education Minister, at our education. The President told him what his brief is. You are to ensure we have an educational system fit for the 21st century, fourth industrial revolution, going into fifth. We are in fifth. I mean, other countries are doing fifth, and here we are still struggling to keep up. So our education must be fit for purpose, and we must review all aspects of our education in terms of the curricula, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of our the teachers, and the educational instructors and their own capacity, even also with the quality of the education that we are offering to Ghanaians. So in 2 weeks, we would hear in detail about when the forum would take place, which stakeholders are being, invited to come on the table. And my prayer is that we'll be able to implement, as much as possible, a consensus approach as a result of the outcome of those conversations. So this is the Ghana we want. We invite you to join us, to support us with your positive energy, because again, you are the one who gave us this mandate. So you and us are the one creating this Ghana we want. Okay. We are not adversaries. We expect criticism, but it must be constructive. We expect participation also from the media. So we don't do he said, she said, because when there's an objective matter, please let us deal with it objectively. Right. We shouldn't invite an MPP opinion, NDC opinion, and have the MPP try to justify something that is obviously not right or didn't go well. Let us agree, so that when that happens, we are having very robust conversations about ideas to implement and get us out of the rut we currently find ourselves in.
Doc.
Yeah, I think there's the second or third committee.
Is educational for? Are you going to be a part of this forum?
The MPP will be invited.
It's up to them.
They'll be invited.
They're a key stakeholder.
Because I think with education, a lot went on there that we are proud of, that we hope is continued. The TVETs, the great improvements we brought to the TVET sector, to the point that the enrollment there doubled. We gave them beautiful facilities as well. The introduction of STEM and all of that, the change of our curriculum to be directed towards STEM and all of that. And I am quite confident that even after all the discussions, they'll probably land at the same place, because I believe personally that that's the direction that we should go on. We're in a technological-driven world, and everything seems to be moving towards STEM. There's even been reports of there being a need of more than, I can't remember the exact number, but millions of staff required from Africa to be able to meet the demands of the growing technological world. So I hope that at the end of this discussion, they land in the same direction that we were heading. But yes, of course, we are available for...
the same direction you were headed?
Yes.
Where were you headed?
Oh, with the direction of changing our curriculum towards STEM, improving TVETs, trying to build our educational base to be able to feed the workforce of the growing world. That's the direction.
What was your educational policy?
Well, I've basically given you highlights of that. So to make the secondary education free, to change the curriculum and direct everything towards STEM, to improve the junior high school education, to have more model, basically a focus on science, technology, and mathematics, the whole STEM part. So that's the direction that we were heading on. So yes, if we're invited, of course, we will be available to provide our insights and what we were thinking about. But I mean, are these commissions and what do we call it? Is this something that we really need to do? Because I think some of the problems that we have are well noted. So is it just going to be another case of sitting down, discussing problems we are already aware of? Why can't we just go straight to the matter? But anyway, I think everybody has their own way of doing things. So we will watch and, as I said, wish them all the best again. To the case of the Constitutional Review Committee, are they going to use the recommendations of the initial committee set up by the late Prof. Mills, or is there another one? Why was there a need? So today I'm going to join the Honorable Hon Ablakwa with the questions. Why was there a need to constitute another commission when we've had one in the past where the recommendations have not been implemented yet? So I'm also interested to know what happens with that.
I'm just trying to go through the policies, and you had promises like encourage the colleges of education to update their curricula to ensure they produce graduates and to the world that will teach the well-equipped and critical thinking population. Undertake national audit of skills, develop online educational platform to host, stream, and share, ensure proper decentralization of teacher recruitment and management, restore teacher trainee facilities, restore allowances paid, These were like, the way I see policies It didn't capture. No, but I wanted a holistic.
Oh, I'll send you
educational policy. What's your educational policy?
Solutions manifesto.
Because these are like milestones.
Yeah. So I'll send you the bold solutions. Yes, that was the actual manifesto. So that had a very detailed policy.
Okay, this one is 2020 anyway.
Yeah, so that's far back. The updated one that we went into the election with is definitely worth a read.
With the bold solutions.
It's definitely worth a read, because we all agree that everything is becoming technological now. Even the President, His Excellency John Mahama, admitted that, and I was very happy to be on Team Bawumia because we were vindicated.
Oh no, please! What are you saying?
Digital economy is the way to go.
This man has been doing digital.
A lot of vindications coming that way. Gold for oil, that also came about. That I always thought was like a very maverick policy thought about. No, it's something that they are also continuing, isn't it?
Who is considering?
No, the NDC. They are isn't the gold board to purchase local gold to be able to stabilize the city? That's what they said. I'm telling you. No, have you read the document on the gold board? What their plan for the gold board is? It's about the same thing as the gold. The domestic gold. How does it differ?
Please, it's not the same.
Do you know what the gold for oil deal was?
What was it about? Gold for oil was, simply put, I know a lot of things. Again, a lot of mudslinging was done to the gold for oil policy, but at its core, the gold for oil policy was to be able to buy gold locally and to be able to exchange that gold to buy oil. It was as simple as that, because we saw that every month we were using about $400 million in forex to acquire oil. So why not buy our gold locally and exchange that so that we can bring some stability to our currency? And anybody that hears that thinks it's a maverick idea. But again, at that point, a lot of things were said about it, and now it seems you want to implement it. So I mean, we wish you the best, because that
idea.
Yes. What
were the
it brought stability to the city at that point.
Anyway.
So if it's that bad, then don't do it. Wait for us to come back.
Why was it? We are certainly not.
What's the point of the gold board?
Just like we have cocoa board, we're doing a gold board.
So you are not going to use the gold from the gold board to stabilize the city?
They didn't tell you that they want to use it to purchase the oil.
It's in the press release that they brought out for the gold board.
You have to bring what?
Leave at 10.
So, okay,
it's in what you brought out. So okay, if you are saying this, I'll quote you on it soon, Jamima. If you use that,
I'm not sure if it's the same thing. I haven't read it.
No, I have read it, so I'm telling you.
But I don't think it's the same thing.
No, but if you are buying gold domestically, you are buying gold. You are buying gold domestically to back the city. But that is what Dr. Bawumia said.
Okay, so Honorable Afenyomakin's agenda was to use
part of it.
Okay, I'm reading. It was to use Ablakwa and Sam George to score political points. The appointments committee is to ask the relevant questions that will bring the best out of the nominees. What will Ghanaians, when you use 5 hours? Okay, what will Ghanaians gain when you use 5 hours to ask Honorable Sam George to take care of him that can make Ghana Post do better than DHL? Regards to Chamima. Alhassan Boswa, you said that in Evans Dinko sends that says Annie. The initial communique to the nominees to appear was 8, including Honorable Ablakwa and Akando. Later, leaders met and agreed to vet only 3 nominees, but that communique was not related to the nominees. Okay, that was how the 8 nominees all came. It was the fault of the clerk because she wasn't directed to stop the rest from appearing. Why should Afenyomakin lead him? This sentence is not clear. Why should Afenyomakin lead? Please, it's not clear, so I can't read it. I don't even know what you wanted to write there. But Simon, I see your message and I see the video you shared with me. Thank you. I'm sure we're going to use it later on. But his name is Jawul bin Napadam Abraham. Whose name? I think I'll call you later for some clarity on that. Here. All right. So this is what time will allow us here.
What you're saying is not for backing the city. This is the official communique. This key initiative of President John Mahama aimed at maximizing the nation's gold reserves and stabilizing its currency.
And
that is not the only
most of the policies,
I'm saying
what is wrong. If you want to
did you not see this gold board proposed in our manifesto? Why are you making it look like?
Why do you want to liken it to the gold?
No, I'm just saying. Oh, so are you saying that you didn't know that one of Dr. Bawumia's flagship campaign promises was to use the gold to stabilize the city?
What was our campaign promise? I don't even know what EPIA is about, because the gold board is in our manifesto. We launched our manifesto before you launched your manifesto. So then we can say you copied our manifesto.
It's not about copying.
Because
this is something he campaigned on.
Well done for campaigning for gold.
Because even that there are questions about it.
Everything we did, there were questions.
With
that we are
the
willing
oil,
to answer those questions.
You will answer. You will answer those questions.
The Asante Kotoko fund.
Yes.
Quick condolences
to the
whole fabulous family and
very unnecessary. Very unnecessary. I mean, very unnecessary.
I insist that we took an
I'm just saying that it's interesting. Like it vindicates every time I wake up. I'm seeing that you are implementing something we did that you complained about. So we'll go.
We are implementing what is in our manifesto, my dear Dr.
Thank you for watching the show. We're back tomorrow with Good Morning Ghana. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Thank you.
Enti abusuan wei ensema etimi akoso wati ase enti wei ensema etimi akoso na abusuan nim ene nyame nim die mekra aboto kakra eye meya isanse niema bi asi me sure say monye bi etie and ebia meka dia eye national issue die mega ya na mani age ho se meka bi but ene mera ho na mera na ho it is about incident bi a see and draw that is 2nd February 2025 ni na eye ye Premier League ya ekoso yi eye Kumasi Asante Kotoko ekopie ewo bono ene ne mpatam ba bi omofre honom ensu atre abusua in fact na ehnye easy na owura ba kwa oye one of the Kotoko fan pa ye frɛ no na Napoli abusia owura no incident si ye na kyese oye target a omope no na de ba kwa ma mega make bi ni se enkofo bebre edi ye papa ya de nyina eye Ignatius Bafowia na first no ye then can know a Minister of Youth Employment bibisa I think say why you don't know honum because we losing the seat ewo Bono region baby kra we losing the seat or Bono region baby kra what you say na nyameni no kwaridie ensem no nkofo tag no but obi kan na Ghana de kasa sometimes we ukasa based on evidence, so it is alleged so no na man nkofo ekoye say nyambra sem no and media miyanso because we can asem evidence in honum but asem kwakra be person make can say football a game you can say be a game a chesen game you pe na minim game can be a bushmeat and the other game no a good akudie abusia ye di jiji eni enti abrofo na ya yesu yomo no how many times and it is say omo feel that omo hold weapon I mean weapon e bitumi ekunipa ankasa na omo di akoye den although nso first na ye to first na nkofo to nso but enem ya akoye say ni mu ye nyane enanimu ye nyane se obi timi ko hwebo na se kan hye ne ho na scissors say sharp metal na hye ne ho on the name of obi funuboa na odi ayi bibi abusua mo meyi jai se wure ya wa nyame ato ne safre ma wagya mu koyi ti sei wowu obenye na koni bio mo meyi jai emboa mo enu do ye ho because we are say we ye nka hanom wo ngukura temu da beba be kaya the saddest thing e wo mi say we jam bofra allegedly 6 case and almost a warrior crown unyanya even a year 6 months somewhere around August. You can imagine it may be in a year crown afro and a sabri incidents we see. I wish for sebi asia yewe unu obi nti nyema asia unu obi ka se na wonti asia sebi enye to the extent say ubetwe weapon na wagi nipa ne kra firi nsam wonti na asia na wo mu wa no ipa yo boni a na waka akere de oye mi wanyi ne yi fa ne famra kwan so enye se obekọ na wakwakogi ne kra afiri nsam. In fact ama me raho because obi kunu obi ba obi papa obi busuani obi adamfo, in fact obi best friend ena sisi okoyo ya but ye ben den memo busuafo ina ya akọ the condolences Mega TV ya hwefo ani ye nyina ye mo bibia condolences wa asemi etimi atwi pa no ye mo condolences wa tiase ye mo mpae se sadi because eno na emma Ghana sisi ye football no nko nanim do because ye we ya chino obi ba park onu susuro ote se me ametie ya onsi park da because obekwa ko wuo no and all the tena ofie ehdiu sebi obi ana e beboa it's very sad abushafo very critical any sad intimation my mfa enuadron trans because it is politics although become papa overcome bona actually but don't mean harm for the person, don't mean benya adwemboni bia ebema ebewie chi ni na wogi nipa de kra feelings ba sa eya enti we news a breaki endra ai ne yetimi nye bi e dia besomo abusia Nyankopon hiraw meso document betum na wa like idmudi na wa share na foforo atimi enye bi ahwe hanom your number one authentic platform Mega TV yugusua mu with the best of news. Me ma mechi ba for United States of America, mam Nyankopon hira papa, mam royal bi UK, Nyankopon nyama ma mekese, and obi bia hwe Mega TV no, Nyankopon hira. Abusia oba de yadma bi se hira. Akraw, bye bye.